Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Clancy progression log. How is Clancy coming? It is almost June 1st, you may ask. Well, it's coming still. It's coming. It's being edited right now. I'd say I have a good 20 minutes, maybe a little bit more, fully officially done, like actually in Google Drive, actually there, like, yes, this is the final product. And other stuff is close. I've already began working on, technically, I guess what you could consider the first draft of all the scenes. There's yet to be a single scene that is going to be in the movie that we have not yet touched in editing. I say we, just me. Yeah, you could say that the first draft is done. First draft completely done. Some parts even more done. Do I still think it will release during the summer? I think so. I'm optimistic. But also, it's going to be very late summer because, like I said, I'm recording this June 27th. And it's still pretty soon. I'm going to have to be filming for something else as well, coming July. And so that will take a little bit more of time off my hands for editing, which means editing may slow down a little bit, but not too much. I think it can still definitely release late summer, depending on how quick anybody is to accept it. If it gets accepted in like the first week of being sent off to whatever we talked about this, the distributors, if any of them pick it up before like in the first week or so, then yeah, probably. But I think a better way to word this is actually, I will finish the movie by the end of the summer. Whether it will be released by the end of the summer is out of my control. But yeah, so we're on to editing. Fucking amazing what the fuck am I saying as his name? Awesome Industry plays Jacob / Amazing Institute in the movie. He has made, like, I essentially he came over a few days ago, probably more like a few weeks ago at this point, and he just played the shit out of the piano that I have. We got like 30 minutes of just his music on this on a fucking hard drive now, and I've been using that for a lot of the scenes in Clancy, and holy fuck is it epic. It's fucking awesome. Oh man, you may think, why is there music in a found footage movie? It'll be explained. It'll all make sense, when in due time. That said, there's still a chance that I need to film like one or two last things. I know I've been filming forever, but it's just that thing where it's like, there's one specific scene, and I don't like the way that scene ended, and I'm like, man, that's a bad ending. That's not good ending. And I was like, man, I know a way funnier way we could take that ending. Not ending to the entire movie, ending to one single scene. One single scene before cutting to something else. And I just know, I'm like, man, I know this way better way we could handle this. And like, it's the dilemma of like, well, how many times are you going to polish or critique something until you're satisfied? Really, you could always see flaws in your own work. And at what point do you have to just accept the flaws that are there and just be proud of what you have and release that, instead of spending all of eternity just trying to go over it and over it and over it and fixing it. But I just really want to do this one scene. I really want to redo this scene. Not redo, just add something to it. It's like a 5-minute uncut thing between my character and Clancy. And I don't like the ending. And so I'm like, man, I have this cooler idea. Let's try to do it. You just got to think of it as pickup shots, except one of my actors isn't here two of my actors aren't even in town anymore, so can have to make do with what I have, which luckily this scene in particular really just involves me and nobody else, except for somebody to be behind the Clancy mask, doesn't matter who. Yeah, other than that one little thing I want to add, I think we are done with filming, like I've probably said for the 1,000,000th time in these progression logs, I know. But now I am also done editing what I call the Hobo Joe scenes. I'm almost done editing the character introduction scene where we're introduced to all the characters and the sort of plot is set up. I'm done with the opening kill, but after the opening kill, there's one last little cool montagey thing that I need to still work on that. I am done with a sort of a something I can't say because of spoilers, but is in the rising action. And dare I say, I am also close to being done with the climax. The climactic confrontation, the final battle, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's gonna be done. It pretty much is done. I just need to look at it one more time, make sure I just adjust the audio to whatever it may need to be. If it's too loud or too quiet or whatever, and get my reviewers to check it out. I have two reviewers. One of them is, when I say reviewers, I mean like people who will watch the progress or the drafts that I have on certain scenes in Clancy, and they'll tell me from their perspective as a viewer, as somebody watching this, they'll be like, maybe this music choice doesn't fit here. What if, like, what was your decision with doing this cut here, and just stuff like that, which has really helped me out in so many great ways, allowed me to look at this movie through lots of different lenses. Yeah, I know fucking, what's his name, Damien Leone, he made a movie before he made the Terrifier movies called Frankenstein versus the Mummy, or some, like, fucking awesome shit like that. I know, it sounds like a fucking dope movie, and it's a pretty good movie. It actually is a pretty good movie. My bias of Damien Leone aside, it actually is a pretty good movie. But one of the big critiques with that movie, and the reason I bring it up now, is it seems like it was just Damien Leone's perspective on things. Like, stuff was there a bit too long, scenes were held on for too long. It's like he didn't want to let anything go to waste, footage or anything wise with the movie, which in turn made for a somewhat slower, longer movie. I think this can also sort of be felt for Terrifier 2 to an extent as well with that movie. And as much as I love Damien Leone in his movies, I'm also trying to learn from what he did, learn from any critiques or any criticism that anybody else may have to those movies, and I'm trying to use that to make sure that Klancy the Clown, whenever it does release, whenever my first movie releases, it comes out fucking swinging, it comes out hard, that it comes out very much itself. And I think Klancy is very much unapologetically itself, because, you can't please everyone with your movie. I already know that, my brother and I, we told one of the kill ideas to my grandma. She went like, she was like, oh my lord, it was not good. It was not good. But what we can do is look at Klancy, look at what it's trying to do, and make sure that we have it done to its fullest extent. And yeah, shit, I'm sorry, went on a whole tangent there. Back to, that said, that's why I have reviewers, people who are looking at the movie, to make sure that, to iron out any critiques. One of them, is a really, really close family friend. We've all known him for a while, and he'll have a little voice cameo in Klancy. Can't say where, can't say when, but he will. And the other one is Joe, Joe's character. You may not know who Joe is. Hobo Joe, that's his actor. And those are my two reviewers who are helping me review the movie. So if the movie's shit, blame them, not me. It was all their idea. No, I'm just kidding. Also, I want to end off this video by saying one more thing about the last progression log I did. Near the beginning of that progression log, I said that the beginning of Klancy the Clown itself is going to have sort of worse acting, and it will evolve into better acting as the movie progresses, as my actors and I get more acting experience as a whole. That is not true. Whenever I was saying that, I was under that impression because I had more of the last half of the film done and completed and edited, or I was in the middle of editing that and putting that more together, as opposed to the footage of earlier on in the movie that I have yet to edit, where all I had was the raw footage. The raw footage on its own seemed a bit clunky on the surface, seemed kind of not as good, in my opinion, in that moment. But now that I'm putting the full movie together, both first half and last half scenes, editing and doing all that stuff, it is definitely not as bad as I thought it was. I was under this way worse impression that the first half was going to be like something I'm really not proud of, I don't like, and the last half is going to be like best, amazing, awesome, this awesome movie. That's not true. It's just because I have yet to edit the first half of the film at the time, which meant I was under the impression that the raw footage was what everybody else was going to also see as well. Now that I have tweaked the footage, now that I have combined it all together, edited it all together, I definitely have a lot more confidence in it now. I can say that I think being very critical of my own work, was at the time overreacting. Yeah, the movie overall, pretty fucking good. Not really too much inconsistencies, unless if it's purposeful inconsistencies. Wink, wink. Not gonna say much else on that, but just a little something there. There may be a few inconsistencies that you may think, oh, what the fuck? Why? That's dumb. But trust me, that's on purpose. And can't say much on that. But yeah, at the time, I don't know what was going through my head. I no longer believe that. Anyways, I could seem like a very dedicated and passionate man by saying, well, I'm going to end off this video. I'm going to go edit some more Klancy. But in all honesty, Squid Game Season 3 came out. I'm on the last episode. I'm going to go watch that shit. Bye-bye.